Okay, wonderful. All right. Well, good evening to everybody that is here and to everybody that are listening in from home on the internet. Those of you who don't know me, my name is Dan Kaufmann. I'm a research assistant professor here at the Department of Neurology, and I have a private practice where I help people with pain disorders, mostly migraines and tension-type headaches, using hypnosis and biofeedback. And in this, for those of you who hasn't been here before, each and every fourth week of the month, we're giving a skills and techniques workshop. So pretty much the goal is to just give very, very simple tools, yet effective tools, so that people can actually use that. Starting from today, just take it with them and use it whatever you want, whenever and wherever they want in life. And so the first kind of couple of minutes is going to be a bit of a presentation, but again, the goal of this session today is more to give you an experience, more of a hands-on experience versus kind of sitting and talking and just giving you information. So the topic that I'm going to talk about is cultivating gratitude. And before I begin, I just want to say and want to emphasize there's a lot to say about gratitude. There's a lot of information out there. I wasn't able to get everything in because, again, the goal of here today is just more to give you an experience and have you, go out with something that you can use versus give you some more information. So everything that I'm going to be talking about is really kind of boiled down to very, very kind of a watered down version of what is actually out there. But I just want to give the basics or the snippets about gratitude so we can kind of get into the topic. So the first thing that I want to talk about is that we all have some intuitive sense of gratitude or what is gratitude. If someone has done something for us, especially if we weren't expecting it, we had a feeling, like a good feeling, a warm feeling that we were grateful for. But actually, gratitude, like any other word, can pretty much have very different meaning, which is depending on context. Now, gratitude itself is derived from Latin, from gratia, favor, or gratus, pleasing, and there are other derivatives of that word. But what is interesting is that all of these derivatives have meaning involved with being thankful, present, being joyful, and especially being happy with something that someone is getting without him or he or she needing to do anything in return. So that's kind of like all the meaning is very much connected to the essence of gratitude. Now, gratitude can be, as we said, can be interpreted in different ways based on context. It could be either an attitude, like if I cultivate an attitude of gratitude towards things in life or towards a specific someone. If it could be an emotion, if someone in specific point in time, someone does something for me, especially when I wasn't expecting it, I have a certain emotion connected with gratitude. It could be a personality trait. We might know these people that whatever happens to them, they're usually very grateful for life, for everything, and so forth. Could be a habit, like saying thank you, especially when we're getting something. Or it could be a coping response, like having a coping response for the different things that happen to us in life, which is pretty much what we want to do today in cultivating that. Now, generally, when we talk about gratitude, it's like we're kind of differentiating between more of the worldly meaning of gratitude, which is mostly related to when something is happening to us, when someone gives us something and we're grateful for. These are more the personal interaction that involves gratitude. But there's also the more transcendent meaning of gratitude, in which the spiritual tradition, most of the spiritual tradition, connect and explain that gratitude is an actual spiritual practice. Okay. Now, but based on this paper that I've seen by Sansa in 2010, I think that she gave kind of a very, very general but very deep meaning of gratitude that is not involving a specific interaction. And she coins gratitude as gratitude is the appreciation of what is valuable and meaningful to oneself, and it is generally a state of thankfulness and or appreciation. So this is one of the definitions of gratitude, and as I mentioned, there's a lot of information out there. But as we're here in the headache school and so forth, I would assume that some of you are thinking, why gratitude? What does that has anything to do with what we're doing in here? And the fact is that when we learn to open ourselves to looking at experiences differently, when we have a sense of starting to cultivate experiences of being thankful, being appreciative, being in gratitude, we help foster a lot of positive emotions which have a very much effect of strengthening our sense of well-being. So pretty much when we are involved in cultivating these, what we call these higher states of emotions, like extensive joy, like elation, like gratitude, it helps protect us from all these lower emotions such as guilt, such as anger, such as envy, frustration, and so forth. Now, there's several studies that have been done on gratitude, okay, and I'm not going to waste time on that, but just in general, people have studied and indicated that people that were involved in the practice of gratitude have a better sense of increase of a sense of well-being. So there was one study that they took 3 groups. One of them were needed to practice gratitude on a daily basis and write down on a journal all the good things that happened to them and being grateful for that. The other group were journaling just neutral things that happened to them, and the third group were documenting the bad or the problematic things that happened to them. And at the end of the study, when they evaluated the sense of well-being, those who were mostly grateful have an increased sense of well-being. And well, this is one study, and of course there are other studies, but just in general, and of course related to pain, other studies have indicated that people have suffered from pain disorders when they were able to cultivate a sense of gratitude that increased their sense of well-being and decreased their bouts of depression. It increased their resilience for stress, and also other medical conditions such as improving in blood pressure and immune function. And again, there's a lot of other forms of studies that have been conducted. So generally, it seems as if cultivating this gratitude thing, it might be a good idea and it might be helpful for general well-being and for certain disorders that we experience. Now, as I was looking at the internet, and this slide have all these different quotes about gratitude, what I'm inviting you to do if you choose to accept my invitation is just kind of take a look briefly about these different quotes and see if there's one or two that resonate most with you, because all of these quotes done by different people kind of give a different flavor of what gratitude is, and I just want to get you more to kind of understand, not cognitively, but more emotionally, of what is it, this gratitude that we're talking about. So kind of take a look, and you can also copy that down, and there's 100 more quotes in the internet. I just kind of gathered some, and see if some quote is resonating with you. I'm just going to give you a minute. And when you look at a quote that resonates with you, see what kind of feeling inside does that quote or quotes invoke, and kind of notice what is happening inside you as you're looking at that or reading one or several of those. Okay? All right, then we can, of course, get back to that. So we've talked about gratitude and what that is and why is that important, but how do we do it? How do we practice this gratitude? And the fact is that actually the practice of gratitude is extremely simple and extremely short in terms of time. But how do we practice gratitude? The first step is identifying, is noticing the things in life that invoke gratitude in us. And it doesn't have to be a big thing. It could be starting from the small things, but the small things that we start to look at, that causes us to be grateful. And the more we pick up these small things, the better we are at identifying more and more things. And of course, we can go to the big things, like I'm grateful for this test result that came, and I know I'm good to go. Like, those are big things, especially with medical issues. So it could be from small to large, but starting to notice that. Second thing that is important is that a lot of people agree that being grateful for things themselves might be less important. And what I mean by that is that I can be grateful for the amazing smartphone that I have, but maybe if I want to look at my smartphone in a different way and say, yeah, instead of I'm grateful for the smartphone, it says I'm grateful for the fact that the smartphone enables me to talk or receive text from so-and-so that I love, for example. Or, yes, I'm grateful for this beautiful shirt that I have, that's one. Or another thing, I'm very grateful that I have clothes that keep me warm and I'm not getting sick, and so forth and so forth. So just an example, okay? However, there's no rules to that. If you want to be grateful for things, you can be grateful for things. There's no like fixed rules. Another important thing is journaling. So it's not just appreciating that, it's actually getting that into writing, into some sort of a journal or a piece of paper, which is also what we're going to do today. And it's important, that's okay, and it's important to just sit and journal what are the things that we're grateful for and read that. Once we journal, most importantly is repetition. Again, I always think about these traits as muscles to be developed. Once we're in a habit of developing a muscle, we're getting better at it. So if we only journal once, that's wonderful, but it might not be enough to cultivate a sense of gratitude. So if we are in a habit of repeating that behavior several times, that could increase and get us the results that we expect to get from gratitude. And it could be daily or it could be once a week. There's no consensus about that. But what is important is to get into the habit of repetitively, every certain amount of time, to repeat to ourselves this process of journaling and acknowledging the good things that happen to us. Another way to practice gratitude is meditating about gratitude, and there's a lot of meditations out there. We're going to do one of them that is my favorite today, and hopefully you'll be able to experience that. Also, sending an appreciation letter. If there's someone that we want to say thank you, that we're grateful for, and actually writing a letter and either giving to them or not, that's up to you, but actually the action of writing the gratitude letter is at itself a practice of gratitude. And of course, saying thank you either in writing or just saying thank you for someone, this is again another practice of gratitude. So that leads me to what we're going to do today. So we're going to start with relaxation exercises, which in that relaxation I'm going to start having you connect with a sense of gratitude. I'm going to start kind of guiding you through the process. And after that, it's going to be a short, like a 5-minute kind of thing. And after that, I'm going to give you a pen and paper, normal kind of blank pen and paper. And I'm going to ask you to take time and start writing down the things that you're grateful for. Now, I'm hoping that by the end of the evening, you'll have about 20 things that you're most feeling grateful for. After we're going to start doing the gratitude list, we're going to work in pairs and kind of do some exercise with gratitude, and we're going to finish with a meditation of gratitude that I was talking about. But what is most important for me is that at the end of the evening, once you identify at least 20 things that you really feel strongly about, that you're grateful for, I would like to give you this for you to take home, and those kind of special paper you'll be able to write down, and I'll give you some more instructions of how to work with that in the future, tomorrow, next day, tonight, and so forth and so forth. So the first paper you can modify, you can change, you can erase, whatever. The paper that you're getting in the end of the evening is something that you're going to take with you, so after you're done, you kind of like have in your mind as what is it that you want to be grateful for. Okay? Any questions up to this point on anything that we've talked about? Okay. So